All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the time and place for the Grand Forks Growth Committee of November 17th. We will begin with roll call.
Berg. Here. Crary. Friedhoffs.
Here.
Holf.
Here.
Wasowski. Here. Whitney. Wolf. We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's item number 2, approval for meeting minutes of October 27th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second. I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. All right. Minutes are approved. Item number 3, accelerate loan authorization to pursue collections for aerial robotics.
Thank you, Chairman Friedhoff, members of the committee. So Aerial Robotics received a $250,000 Accelerate loan back in July of 2022. You may recall this is the last Accelerate loan we approved prior to doing a program pause, an indefinite program pause that we ultimately left permanent. The terms of those loans, just as a refresher, mirrored the BND LIFT program, which involves 0 interest and no payments for 3 years. 2% interest accruing and no payments over the next 2 years, and then a balloon payment of the principal and accrued interest at the end of year 5. For this loan, that maturity date was October of 2027, so still within the deferral period. And actually, I guess just the that interest accrual phase just would have started in October of 2025. Aerial Robotics was at one point looking to become a Hive member, so back in 2023, a conversation occurred between staff and Jorg, I think I said that right, Jorg Shamoon, CEO of the company. At that time, he provided a status update that's detailed in the staff report, but writ large, it was communicated that the company was experiencing some serious challenges pertaining to some of their shareholders and their IP. Shortly, I was also informed by Mr. Shamoon at that time that they were placing some sort of administrative freeze or pause to preserve the company as is while those issues were worked out. Shortly thereafter, about a week or so, Mr. Shamoon indicated that the company believed they had found a path forward with some new investors and planned to relaunch or reactivate the U.S. corporation moving forward as planned. And given that the loan was still in deferral and the path forward seemed to have been identified, no action was taken by the JDA. Subsequent conversations between staff and B&D confirmed that they received the same story or the same sort of background, and similarly opted not to take action at that time. Let's see. Recently, we reached out to Mr. Shamoon to get an update, I guess, as part of our recent Accelerate loans that we've been dealing with at the Growth Fund. We wanted to make sure that we're getting updated information as to status of all our other ones. Staff's email to the contact information that we had from Mr. Shamoon returned a out of business auto reply. We've since tried to reach out a variety of different ways and received no response. So we also followed up with Bank of North Dakota, who does have the LIFT loan for this project. They're in the same position as us, essentially aware of the apparent cease of operations for the business, but have not yet taken action to this point, though we do anticipate them taking action similar to what is recommended in the near future. So in this case, the missing info does make this a bit of a challenge. So a bit of the recommendation, I guess, is to first authorize staff and the city attorney to further review the status of aerial robotics to ensure that they're not operating. And then if it's determined then that a default has occurred, that they've ceased operations, we'd further ask that we be authorized to initiate a collection process of some sort, see what's available, if anything, for collections as we normally would. So I think I'll leave it there. And unless Dan has anything to add, I think stand for any questions.
I have questions. Where do we stand, I guess, with the Bank of North Dakota? Are we behind them
We are.
on the loan?
We are. Yeah.
Okay. And then, but if we take action first, then that doesn't make us first.
No, there's not a race to the courthouse that
Okay.
you win. It's a race to the filing of the UCC is what matters. Is
Okay.
between two creditors.
Okay. I move approval.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. Any more comments?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the approach here. I think it's the right approach just in terms of, not them just, I don't know. I looked at the email reply. I don't know. It was an auto reply. It looked like, he might have just said that back. I don't know. But I think the due diligence is important here because like their website is up and running. They've got jobs advertised on their website right now. So making sure that they're not operating and telling us that they're not operating. But I also think too, just like looking at the staff report, they're in default with multiple sections of the loan agreement, not just the cessation of operations one, right? So, from my perspective, if they're not going to reply at all, like I think it's in default regardless my thought is, yeah, Mr. Gosted, I think we just proceed with whatever we need to do for collections, regardless of the results of what that, due diligence might be in terms of whether they're still operating or not, since they're in default of multiple sections of the loan agreement.
And if I may,
Please.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I've always liked to have as much in my basket as possible as to what the evidence might reveal for positioning as far as if we need to pursue a collection.
I think, Mr. Chair, also, Mr. Kylan followed up, but our batting average isn't very good on these Accelerate loans. So what we're doing is reaching out because at the end of the day, I think the Growth Fund and JDA knew that these were higher risk, but our batting average is likely going to be less than we predicted, and that impacts us financially in our two funds. So we want to know where everyone's at, and then we can provide a realistic 6-year forecast with assurance or not of whether we're going to have any loan repayment on this. And right now, things are not looking very good to say. And so I think this Growth Fund and the JDA made the right decision of putting a period on this program and redirecting it to whether it was quality of life or other things that we got involved in. So I think that's the state of affairs. It's a challenging state of affairs, to say the least, to be frank.
Thank you. All right, I have first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Number 3, Accelerate loan is approved for collections. All right, number 4, Accelerate loan authorization to pursue collections for Thread.
Thank you again, Chairman Friedhoff, members of the committee. Similar for this one, I'll withhold, I guess, much of the context. We've talked about this one at length, I think, a few times, most recently in June of this year as part of a loan modification for Thread. Since that time in October, actually, information provided by Josh Reedy, CEO of Thread, raised concerns with staff regarding the continued operation of Thread. The company has terminated its lease at the Hive as of the end of October and still has several pieces of equipment contained in the property. Our loan on this one is in third position, in this case behind separate loans from the North Dakota Development Fund and Bank of North Dakota. You may recall, originally this loan was unsecured as part of the loan modification in June. We did secure the loan with the UCC, but it is in third position behind Development Fund and BND. I think I'll turn it over to Mr. Gosted at this point to discuss the disposition of the assets piece.
Well, as I understand, the lease has been voluntarily terminated by agreement, but there's still some assets that are still within the premises, the lease premises that they have. I've had communication with the attorneys representing BND and the Development Fund as to how we're going to proceed to move those items out of that space so that it can be leased. And I think there is a plan that has been developed amongst us. We talked late Friday afternoon. And as I understand, there's going to be some effort to try to inventory those items first. May not be down to, serial numbers, but at least photographing what's located in there and then developing a plan amongst particularly with the Development Fund and the Bank of North Dakota, since they've got the priority lien. And I'm not anticipating that the value of those funds will get past the payment to those two before it gets to the JDA. The most important is to try to get those assets out of that space so it turns into a rentable space for the JDA. So I'm waiting for an agreement that the attorney for the development fund is drafting to kind of memorialize that kind of understanding. And that would be an agreement that would also include thread as well as part of the agreement is what's being proposed. So
Move approval.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So I got a real quick comment. This one actually came as almost a shock to me. They had so much momentum over the past couple years, and from the O'Leary Fund and a bunch of other stuff, and they'd won awards and everything. And it's kind of a shame to see when this stuff happens, right? You know, we make commitments, and they're supposed to make commitments, and sometimes we don't always win. But this one definitely came as a shock to me. So, yes, sir.
What was left on the lease at the Hive in terms of term? Do we know? Were they in a 5-year lease with a couple left, or what? Do we know where that was at? And then go ahead.
I'm sorry. So their lease was due up in May of 2026 in that EDA fit up space. So there was a decision point coming anyway in May of 26 as to where they wanted to go. I don't think that played a factor at all in what occurred, but
Sure. And then corporate or personal guarantees on the lease that we know of?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is number 4 is approved. All right, number 5, information only, past due loan update.
just add real quick. Mr. Phelan kind of alluded to this in his comments at the last item, but we did follow up real briefly with our other 2 outstanding Accelerate loans. First Eye LLC remains in deferral until next year. Real quick update was it's still too soon to tell as to where they're going to be at. A lot of positive momentum. CEO was very optimistic. But just so you know where that one's at, we have touched base with them. We have heard from them. So it sounds positive momentum on that front. Safety Spec, you'll recall we just had loan modification. I checked back with him during the government shutdown piece. I know you'll recall their business model relied a lot on federal grants. Expectedly challenging time, but it sounds like they were in good position as well. And they'll be due to make their first payment on that restructured payment model in December. So just an update. Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. For the update for the loans on the attachment, ND Coffee Roastery and S. Olson Holdings, I have been in communication with that individual, and they will be making payments. They had a similar situation where their ACH payments were shut off, and they were not aware of that. So they will get caught up here soon. Koth Investments, I was able to reach him on Friday, and he did come in and made a $1,500 payment. So he is working on getting caught up as well, and he did verify that he was going to have automatic payments come out each month now as well. Integrity Fundraisers, update for them. They did send in a check for $500, so they are just now behind by 1 month, and they were going to continue trying to get caught up on that one as well. And then for Airtonomy Thread, theirs is on here. Obviously, no communication per what Mr. Conlon presented.
I have a comment. Thank you for listing it out like that. It's perfect, and I greatly appreciate that. I move adjournment.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned.
All right, welcome everybody. We'll call to order the Grand Forks City Council meeting for Monday, November 17th. We get a roll call, please, Maureen.
Weigel. Salsky.
Here.
Berg.
Here.
Lenski. Friedels.
Here.
Bean.
Here.
And President Sandy.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Item 1.2, Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Item 1.3, Mayor's announcements. I just want to give a congratulations to the Grand Forks Police Department. They successfully earned its 4th international accreditation from the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, which is CALIA. They went and received that award at the conference down in Jacksonville, Florida. It's the gold standard in public safety accreditation and sets forth a rigorous process to earn the designation. So great job. I know Lieutenant Stein, Chief Friedman, and City Administrator Todd Phelan all attended the conference and just appreciate the work to get that done once again. So much appreciated, Chief. That's it for announcements. Move on to 2, awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations.
2.1 is a presentation from Blue Zones Community Certification.
Thank you. I think we got it loaded up. Do you got the clicker to?
I got the clicker in here.
All right, we'll take it away. All right.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor Buczynski, council members. My name is Nicole Benson, and I have had the absolute privilege of leading the Blue Zones Project community work over the last 3 years. And as you can see on the screen there, together we put well-being on the map here in North Dakota. So just really excited to kind of share the last 3 years with you all today. So back in 2020, All True Health System and the North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services sponsored Blue Zones Project to come to Grand Forks. And it was actually prior to that Governor Burgum paid to have many communities within North Dakota paid for ready assessments for Blue Zones Project. What that ready assessment told us was that Grand Forks has the leadership, the passion, that community collaboration that it takes for such a project. So we were ready for it. We, as a community, we had all the pieces to make a big impact. And we were lucky enough to have Altru and the North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services fund the project. So what does certification mean? I don't know if you've heard or not, but Grand Forks is the very first Blue Zone certified community in North Dakota. So way to go, Grand Forks. In order to be certified, it's not an easy task. We have different criteria that we have to meet as a community to earn that distinction. So there's a few pillar targets that we need to meet. There's community selected measures that we need to see improvement on, and also well-being that we need to see improvement on. So today I'm just going to kind of dive into each of those 3 certification criteria. So the first is our pillar status. So when we look at pillars, we look at people, place, and policy. Those are where we're going to try and make that impact. The first one is that people area. And our target for people is we needed to engage 15% of the population in our scope area, which was the near north neighborhood. We exceeded that goal. We were able to engage 2,764 unique individuals and 4,245 residents of Grand Forks outside of that scope area. So I think like we do in Grand Forks often, we crushed that goal. But I want to take a moment to address that number and point out something that sometimes gets lost in the data. At Blue Zones Project, we work with people across all ages and in all areas of their life. So at their work, schools, neighborhoods, and more. But our engagement number only reflects the 4,245 individuals 18 or over who directly signed up to stay connected with us. This number does not reflect exactly who we were able to engage with. I know it's nearly impossible to do that perfectly. But this number, what it doesn't reflect is the many youth that we were able to engage in well-being activities within their schools, their clubs, recreational activities, events, and camps that we held. This number does not represent the full impact of this program that it has had on the community through households. So it might be just one person was part of that 4,000, but it might be a household of 5. And that household now, when they're grocery shopping, they're making healthier choices. They're maybe doing more volunteering within the community, or they're involved in other connection activities like monthly game nights or pickleball. We know that the impact is deeper than that 4,000, and it's more widespread than just that. So we know that there's a ripple effect. So when you think of that ripple effect, how many individuals did that really impact? The next is places. So when we look at places, we need to look at schools, at work sites, grocery stores, and restaurants. And we need to look at what are some best practices, what are some well-being policies, projects, and plans that they can implement in those areas. And there are a specific number of those initiatives that work sites, schools, grocery stores need to implement. Well, here in Grand Forks, we were able to support 28 local organizations in implementing well-being policies, practices, and programs. So when you think of that ripple effect, just think of the number of employers that we've been able to impact, or students within the school. And next is policy. We know that Grand Forks has multiple organizations that are already doing amazing work, including the city of Grand Forks. The policy area is so important because policies represent significant and long-term impact, even some permanent changes in our community, or significant steps towards those changes. We were able to support staff and other leaders across Grand Forks so that together we were able to implement 39 policies, plans, or projects across the food environment, built environment, and tobacco. This is another area that went beyond our targeted goal. As you can see, we exceeded, again, blowing it out of the water in our community. It's thanks to our community partners for not only embracing well-being, but actually prioritizing well-being that we've been able to see these outcomes in our area. Now the fun stuff. The community selected metrics. So our steering committee at the beginning of the project chose different community selected measures that we wanted to track throughout the 3 years. Now we needed, in order for certification, we need to see six improvements in those community selected metrics. Well, we saw 12 in the 16 selected metrics that we saw improvement in. And you can kind of see in here the different improvements that we were able to capture. All right, and the last of that kind of three-legged stool is well-being. So we work with Boston University, and Boston University puts out a community well-being survey. Through that, we were able to measure key metrics in well-being that were related to the individual residents. While the previous sections really was all about that community data, this survey is about the individual. Here and in the next few slides, you can see not only the survey data from each year of the project, but on the far side of the screen, highlighted in yellow, you can see our rate of change across the project time period. We've had 2 rates of change that were statistically significant. So if you look on here, our purpose increased 5 points, and that would be in the Near North neighborhood. And this is self-reported. So in our Near North neighborhood, our residents are reporting a 5-point increase in their purpose. Overall well-being, a 3.5-point increase in overall well-being. So what does that mean? Overall well-being improved 3.5 points from 60.9 in 2022 to 64.4 in 2025. Each point increase in well-being for a population leads to approximately a 2% reduction in ER visits and hospital utilization, and to approximately a 1% reduction in total healthcare costs. The past 3 years have yielded over a 1.8 million in direct savings by avoiding medical and lost productivity costs. So when we think about that impact, now if we want to take it a step further, based on the trend and the transformational changes in policy and places that we've been able to impact, we'll have a direct savings that's projected to grow to 4 million in year 4 and 7.9 million in year 5. So if we look further at the 10-year analysis and projections, the impact is expected to exceed 40 million in medical and lost productivity savings. And that is if we don't do anything else. So when we think about all the wonderful things that we're continuing to do, this is if we just stayed at where we are today. That's the kind of return on investment we would be able to see. All right. The next one now, this is kind of zooming in on some of those areas of well-being. And this statistic, if you look at Thriving in Life's evaluation, so residents in the Near North neighborhood saw a 17.6%, or reported a 17.6% increase in those that said they feel like they're thriving in life. Now, I feel like that's almost the gold standard to say you're thriving in life. And we were able to see significant increases in that in our Near North neighborhood. All right, and here we just kind of go into some more of those metrics. So we look at increased exercise. We see an increase in fruits and vegetable servings, a decrease in obesity. All right. So we have seen firsthand over the last 3 years what can happen when our community invests in ourselves. Altru and the North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services made a transformational investment in our community by funding this work. Sustaining these improvements is critical so that we do not lose the momentum we have built over the last 3 years. Although the 3-year contract with Blue Zones Project ended last Friday, I know that there are so many people and organizations across our community who know just how important it is to prioritize well-being across all areas of our life where we live, learn, work, and play. And more so, that all residents in Grand Forks can thrive. And in this last 3 years, we've shown that. Thank you for your time today. And I hope you all, like me, are happy to celebrate Grand Forks becoming the first community in North Dakota to achieve this well-being milestone. I also hope that, like me, you're looking forward to a healthier future in our community. And then if you have any questions.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Benson? I'll start with you, Mr. Friedolfs, and then Mr. Veen.
Just a comment. This is so awesome because I don't know how many years ago it was. I watched the Netflix special, right? And I was like intrigued by just the sense of community and the spirit people had when they were eating healthier, and and I've kind of applied that to my life throughout my entire life. And so watching that was really cool. And I'm like, hey, Grand Forks is really close to this, right? I think the community, and now we're building the the aquatic center. I think all that does everything that you guys are targeting, and then the Career Impact Academy and all this other stuff is just, it's geared for this. And so I appreciate what you guys are doing, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Good job. You said at the end, though, the 3-year contract ended last Friday. So what's next?
What's next? Well, we did have a nonprofit prior to Blue Zones, Live Well Grand Cities, and that was created, I think, in 2013 with the mission to make the healthy choice the easy choice, where you live, learn, work, and play, which is exactly what Blue Zones was doing. So what we are doing now is we are reinstating that nonprofit, and we're going to be continuing that work, but really localizing it. And we're going to be able to expand. Under Blue Zones, we're kind of restricted to a specific area. Under Live Well, we're going to be able to expand through all of Grand Forks. So being able to keep the same foundation, a lot of the same, things that we were doing with Blue Zones, but really keep it local.
Yeah, that answered kind of my question, because you talked about the near north neighborhood, and the benefit is to go beyond that, right?
Yes.
And to be able to do it. Is there anything you're looking for from the city at this point?
No, I don't think so at the city, from the city at this point. Just looking for support and sharing our successes, and, saying thank you to our city staff who played an important role in all of this work. It wasn't done alone. When I think of the people within the city and county that have played a big role and helped to create this impact, just thank them. It's something that it takes a village, and we did that. So.
All right. Any other questions? I just want to say thank you. I think as we look at our own workforce and we look at healthcare costs spiraling, obviously that's a function of healthcare costs going up everywhere, but anything we can do to have a healthier workforce will help reduce those numbers and can put dollars towards wages and, certainly many other things. So we appreciate the work that you've done, and we're excited to see where this leads in the future. So thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
2.2 is a proclamation, a Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, November 16th through the 22nd.
All right, thank you. Whereas for nearly 30 years, the National Coalition for the Homeless and National Student Campaign Against Hunger and Homelessness have sponsored National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week. Now, therefore, I, Brandon Boczynski, Mayor of Grand Forks, North Dakota, hereby proclaim the week of November 16th to 22nd, 2025 as Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. I encourage all citizens to not only recognize that many people do not have housing and need food support, but to volunteer and connect with a local nonprofit in our community. Take time during this week to volunteer, donate, or educate. And then you can see the full proclamation posted online. Thank you. All right, item 3, public hearings and second readings of ordinances. We have none. So move along to item 4, citizen comments. Any comments this evening, Ms. Lundmark?
I have one comment. Matthew Gilbert.
Mr. Gilbert, please. Thank you. And then we do have a 3-minute clock just up there in the corner, so keep your eyes on the time as best you can. All right. All right, please.
Hello, thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to come and speak in support of the proposed Seven Brew project. We're going through a rezone that's on the agenda, and I just wanted to stand up here and just voice that we've looked at this opportunity. We really are excited about this location, and I just thank you for your consideration.
Well, you got 2 minutes, 45 seconds left. All right, we'll take that back, and thanks for being up here and showing up. Appreciate it, Mr. Gilbert. Anything further, Ms. Lundmark?
That's all I have this evening.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to 5 action items. And if any items that council would like pulled.
5.8.
5.8.
5.3.
5.3.
5.7.
5.7. Ms. Lunsky, was there anything that you wanted pulled other than 5.3, 5.7, and 5.8?
No, thank you.
All right, seeing that, we'll look for on the consent agenda approvals for 5.1, 5.2, 5.4, 5.5, 5.6, and 5.9. Motion approved from President Sandy, second from Mr. Veen. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
5.3 is the Visit Greater Grand Forks loan.
I'm ready to vote.
All right. Got a motion to approve from President Sandy. Second from Ms. Lunsky. I did just want to make a comment. I really appreciate the work that that Visit Greater Grand Forks does for us, and we're only going to lean on you more and more into the future. This conversation, I think, it needs to be clarified a little bit. When we were going through the budget process, there's 2 different funding sources that the Greater Grand Forks Greater Grand Forks gets. One's from the hotel motel tax. The other one was previously from a city sales tax, which we had eliminated. So we were trying to figure a way to soften the blow, and knowing that there was this outstanding loan, we figured a trade for 160 for 90 in 1 year was a pretty big win for the city, knowing that you can continue to do good works with that 3% tax. And we know you'll find a way to do more with less, which we always like to hear here at the city. So just wanted to thank you and make sure that that was clarified as the reasoning this came up, and still have to go through the process. And that's why we're here today to finalize that. So just wanted to be able to voice that. Any further comments?
I just have one comment.
Yep.
I just want to
Ms.
make
Osowski,
it clear
please.
that I've never once accused Visit Grand Forks or Ms. Riggs of any type of mismanagement of their funds. I guess, in my opinion, I don't consider it right pocket, left pocket, because she can't, we can move funds from right to left, but we can't move funds from left to right. So I disagree with that, but thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wasowski. Any further comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-1 with Wasowski dissenting.
5.7, introduction of ordinance, preliminary approval of request to amend the zoning map to rezone from Greenberg PUD, PUD Commercial B3 to Greenberg PUD Amendment 6, PUD Limited Business B1, located at 3909 South 38th Street.
All right, Mr. Brooks, please.
I just had a question. Is this property proposed to receive a TIF or a pilot? I couldn't recall.
They have not been through us as of yet, but I do believe they will have a request before us. They are going to make a request.
Okay.
that is still to come.
I was just curious on that. All right. I motion to approve.
All right, we got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Sure.
Second, we'll get it to President Sandy. So motion from Ms. Berg, second from President Sandy. Any further discussion on item 5.7? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
And 5.8, introduction ordinance, preliminary approval of request to amend the zoning map to rezone from B3 General Business District to Levers PUD to reduce required parking located at 715 South Washington Street.
All right, Mr. Brooks, why don't you give us a little bit of a snapshot? This one hasn't been in front of this board that I know of. And there was a different result from planning and zoning versus staff recommendation on this. So if you could just give us a general breakdown, then obviously if there's any questions or comments, we'll go from there.
Sure. Thanks, Mayor. So this is the site of it's the former Levers, former Red Owl, as some of us who've been around a long time remember. But currently it's Fuji's and Planet Fitness and a daycare facility in between those two. So the site's right on South Washington Street. It's currently a mixed-use development. There's about 157 parking stalls on the site currently. Under our current parking regulations, that shows that it's not enough. However, we are in the process of updating our code. We are understanding that on some of these sites, there is an ability to that we do have excess parking. So pretty soon you're going to have some recommendations in front of you to reduce our parking requirements. That being said, this site, under those new proposed that you haven't even seen as of yet, this site is, we're a little concerned about this particular development. So they are looking to do a coffee shop on the northwest corner. It'd be on the corner of the whole site, on the northwest corner of 7th Avenue and South Washington Street. To the north of that is Starbucks and Smiling Moose. It is a pretty busy intersection. So what they've worked out is closing off the two accesses to the north and taking out about 39 stalls on that site and adding in a few to accommodate the 7 Brew. Access would be along that north side of the facility. There's some parking along that north side, and they would access from the east. Overall, we do like the thought of redevelopment as much as we can. Just in this case, staff felt that it was a little too much. That being said, planning and zoning did make a recommendation for approval by a 6-2 vote, and I'm happy to stand for any questions you may have.
Sounds good. I know I've been by the other location. I don't know what's in those drinks or the coffee, but it sure seems to be very popular. You see a lot of people lined up there to get a 7 Brew coffee, beverage, whatever it is. I don't partake, but I know we still, have to have rules that we've got to follow and try to align ourselves with that. So obviously it'll be, I'm sure it'll be a tough decision here, but open it up to council to make their comments. Ms. Osowski, please, comments or questions?
I have some comments. I've had lots of complaints about their current location, mainly just blocking traffic. I've heard that they've had lines that are blocking traffic on 32nd. I've also been caught in a parking lot personally that I couldn't even exit because the people in the line wouldn't even stop and let me exit out of the parking lot. I have concerns, not so much about them opening a new location, but where this particular location is, I know that there's been some conversations about the inlets, but we've really tried to direct traffic so they don't take a left over by, that Starbucks into that parking lot. And I still see people trying to turn left there. I'm nervous about the increase in traffic. I also do not think that we should be budging on our parking ordinance. That really bothers me, and I trust the judgment at this point of our planning and zoning. And so I disagree with this zoning change. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Osowski, for the comments. President Sandy?
So, Mr. Brooks, I watched the planning and zoning meeting. I wasn't able to attend in person, but I did watch it, not live afterwards. I think first of all, can you Can you talk to the realignment of 8th Avenue South? And where we are in that process, or?
But the actual where we're at in the process might
Yeah.
be better for engineering, but I know they are working at aligning 8th in the future through this area here. There would be some split, and it isn't so much about traffic going across 8th because we'd probably block that. We don't want people taking a run and trying to get across, but it's about those lefts and
The
queue.
left turns
The left,
queuing, right?
yeah.
Because you line up face to face, and
Yep.
neither of you can actually get to the road you're trying to get to.
Yeah, anybody who's tried to make that left here knows that you're blocking somebody else trying to make a left down 8th as they head to the north. There isn't a big enough queue.
But ultimately, so correct me if I'm wrong, you said that under the new parking rules, after this facility goes in, they still won't have enough parking spots. I think if I recall, they were like 15 short or something like that.
Correct, yeah, and those rules that have not yet been before
Right.
you, they would still be short by 15, which is a little more than 10%.
Sure.
And that is not accounting for this potential realignment that's still to be working through the process.
Right, but the potential realignment would potentially, we would need other additional parking spots taken out, correct?
Right, and there may be some other advantages, because maybe when you realign that, perhaps there's another pocket of potential parking that would come in where that previously was aligned, that would have to cross that street, but
Sure.
we would certainly have to look at some options for them.
Got it. Okay. I think in my opinion, and I don't know if any of the rest of you saw the meeting, I think the general consensus for the people that supported this like the idea of not having that big a concrete parking lot on South Washington. So I believe it was less about excitement about getting a coffee shop and or excitement about or worry about parking spots as it was an opportunity. They saw it as an opportunity to get something new that might make the area look better. I can't argue that concept. I worry about the precedent of us not following our parking regulations, because I think as a community, we've tried, and the planning department has tried to help other coffee shops like this. Ryan mentioned one earlier to me today, the Caribou that's by the Burger King. It's not like we haven't tried. I think in this situation, though, if we move forward with not following our rules, how do we let the next person, or how do we say no to the next person that wants to come and corkscrew some business into some parking lot? So I'm a no on this myself. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, President Sandy. Ms. Berg. Comments?
I also watched the planning and zoning meeting and thought that the conversation was very interesting. I agree with the excitement to develop that parking lot. I think it would be really great. However, I have a lot of concerns about the safety of traffic in that area. It's already really just messy, and I would worry that it would become too dangerous.
Thank you, Ms. Berg. Any further comments or motions from council at this time?
I have a question. If I move approval, is this for planning and zonings?
You would move to deny.
I would move to deny. I move to deny.
Mr. Goss, would you prefer we make motions in the affirmative and then vote them down? Is that your general preference?
There's two ways to couch it, because as I understand it, there was a recommendation from staff to deny. And so the motion could be to approve staff recommendation, which would be a denial of the request, or alternatively to approve planning and zoning recommendation. And the way I'm understanding Ms. Osowski's motion is to approve the staff report that would be a denial of the request.
I motion to approve the staff report
then
We got a motion from Ms. Oselski. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second from Ms. Berg. Ms. Berg, please.
Oh, I also just want to encourage Seven Brew to continue to look for an alternative space. I don't want you to not continue your businesses here. I think it's exciting to have an additional site over on this part of town versus just the south end. But this just isn't the correct spot for it.
Any further comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the staff recommendation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-1 with Lunsky dissenting. I think that's it for action items. So move on to item 6, information items.
6.1, statements of changes in cash balance as of September 30th.
Thank you.
And 6.2 is the investment portfolio summary as of October 31st.
Thank you. And item 7, approval of minutes and bills.
And the vendor list as is attached.
Got a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Friedolf, second from Ms. Berg. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
And 7.2 are the minutes from November 3rd.
As is moved from
Second.
President Sani, second from Ms. Berg. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item 8, city administrator comments. Mr. Phelan, any great comments after coming back from Jacksonville? I'm not seeing much of a tan on you. You must have been working hard. You want more officers, more cop cars, more equipment now?
More of everything. No, but I did want to commend Chief Friedman, did a wonderful job briefing on behalf of the city, and also a special thank you to Lieutenant Stein, who was the accreditation manager and who led the process, and the no good deed will go unpunished kind of work. So thank you to both of them. You would have been very proud of who they are and what they did, and so I was honored to be there. Also wanted to point out this is our 4th reaccreditation, and so since 2013 we've been accredited. So thank you to everyone who sustained accreditation over 10 plus years, and I think it's paid off in my history as city administrator. When times get tough, the police department has always performed, and so I think that's in large part because they've been accredited and they have some great policies that they implement and some really great officers. So I was honored to be there. And I think it's our police department symbolic of all the great departments and people that we have working for the city of Grand Forks. So thanks to everybody, and I was honored to be there. With that, I'd hand it over to my colleague, Dan Gosted.
Yeah, I've asked Mr. Phelan if I could just introduce the person next to me. It's Rachel Anfinson. She's a law clerk in our office and does great work for the city periodically and researching and providing memorandums. And you may see her again at future meetings. So just wanted to introduce her.
All right, welcome, Ms. Anthonson. Did I hear that correctly? All right, well, welcome. All right, we'll move on to 9 mayor and council member comments. Ms. Oselski, any comments this evening?
Yeah, I have comments. One, I think Chief Friedman is doing an excellent job in our community, and we are very, very fortunate to have him. So thank you so much for all the work that you do. Also, because I love the Christmas lights, the Christmas tree in the Veterans Park looks beautiful. It's all lit up with red, white, and blue. I did see that we are putting up our beautiful Christmas tree in our town square. Mr. Mayor told me that there would be a lighting. I'm not quite sure when that'll be, but I hope he talks about it.
Sunday night.
Sunday
We'll get
night.
that, yeah.
Sunday night is
We'll
our
get that out.
Christmas tree lighting, so that'll be wonderful. The only other thing that I would like is I was wondering if we could soon get an update on Epitome. It's been kind of a while since we've really discussed what is going on. I know that there's still construction going on out there. I think for the not for the project, just kind of our portion of it.
Mr. Phelan, you got-
Council Member Oselski, yeah, we did get a public information request on this too. So
Okay.
the answer is, number one, we're involved because we're the conduit for the solid waste debt from the state of North Dakota. So we have approved that. So that needs to get renewed in the relatively near future. So we should give an update on that. And the other part is 70th Avenue North, where we got the ED8 grant to reconstruct 70th Avenue. That would serve, kind of the north side of the landfill, the south side of the landfill area, and then the north side where that site was proposed for Epitome Energy. we are moving forward with that grant because we think that's a kind of a growth and development area regardless. But we'll update you on both the solid waste bonding and also we're still in design on the and right-of-way acquisition on the 70th Avenue North. So no major moves have been made other than we continue to help support and Epitome Energy in that area for redevelopment.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Berg, any comments this evening?
No, thank you.
Ms. Lunsky, any comments?
I just wanted to remind everyone, this Sunday is Holly Dazzle, which Ms. Osowski touched on, but Holly Dazzle starts in Town Square, followed by the parade, followed by the tree lighting and fireworks. So come on out to Town Square on Sunday.
You can get hot chocolate, hot
That's better than I
cider.
could have imagined.
There's candy thrown out. I mean, this is the real deal. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lunsky. You took all my comments, so that's great. Mr. Friedhoff, any comments?
Were you going to mention the air service stuff?
You go ahead. I'll just be done then. So Ms. Osowski can move adjournment.
So good news on the air service, right? We've got with the 5 o'clock is moved to 6:30.
That's still up in the air. Yeah. Maybe I should just take
that
this
wasn't
one.
that wasn't the paper.
Yeah, the original briefing was 6:30. Right now, it looks like they got it listed at 5:15. There is 4 flights, so we're going to increase the options. Still working on getting more seats. Still working on United. Changes nothing with that. Still pushing for Denver and potentially Chicago. So, really, this is a small step. This is 2% of the way. We got a lot more work to do, but yeah, it's something. It's the first flight we've added in I think 12 or 15 years. So it's something.
Awesome.
Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
That was it.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Friedhoff, for teeing me up. Mr. Veen.
Nothing, sir.
All right, thank you, President Sandy.
Yeah, I sure hope our downtown businesses participate by being open Sunday night. That would be great. Just think of how many people would be able to buy things. Thank you, Mayor.
I think that's great too. Well, I don't have any comments. They've all been taken. So thank you everyone for attending and we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I move adjournment.
Motion from Ms. Osowski, second from Berg. No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.